Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General, congratulations on your nomination. I want to thank you and your family for your exceptional service. I think you're highly qualified, and I'm looking forward to strongly supporting your confirmation. So thank you to your family as well. I just got back from the NATO summit last night late and had the opportunity to visit with the 1st Cav troops in Lithuania, who are doing an exceptional job, so I know you know that, but I want you to know that we had a bipartisan CODEL of senators who spent a couple hours with them, and they look like they're doing great, morale's high, and I think they understand the importance of their mission. I do want to just touch on the recruiting issues, maybe have a comment or two on what we can focus on. I was disappointed, to be honest, and I don't like to get into the politicization issues, but at a roundtable event, Secretary Warmoth just last week talked about one of her concerns on recruiting was politicians labeling the Army as woke, as damaging recruiting efforts. That was her comment. I think the Secretary, best way that she can address this kind of issue is not to blame politicians, but just to make sure that the Army is indeed not so-called woke. Have you seen that Emma recruiting ad, Army Emma recruiting ad? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I have seen it, but I will.
Yeah, this is Exhibit A in a woke Army, in my view. I have no idea who the Army was trying to get with that ad. But it was an embarrassment, I thought, and it was taken down, I believe. Take a look at it. But the Secretary was a joke, in my view. I have no idea. It'd be good to know, maybe for the record, who approved that and what the goal, who are we trying to get? I just don't understand that. But that's on the Army. It's not on politicians. The Secretary, I was disappointed to see the Secretary kind of deflecting blame on an issue like this. What are your thoughts on the recruiting issues?
Just specific to that point, Senator, I think, again, people are staying inside of our formations. I know that we are focused on our mission, as you've seen with out there with the troops, and we got to get the word out about how the Army and the military in general can accelerate your life and why it's a great place to serve, and we're working hard to do that.
Okay. Let me turn to the 11th Airborne Division. I really want to commend you and General McConville and the Secretary for that decision. And I was back home last weekend as well, and it seems like that unit is doing exceptionally well. We still are having these high levels of suicide in Alaska, which of course is horrendous, heartbreaking. Can you give me an update on how you think the 11th Airborne is doing? And then can I get a commitment from you? I do think our leadership in Alaska and the Army has really put a lot of effort and focus on these really difficult issues of mental health and suicide. So I'm not criticizing at all here, but I'd like your commitment to continue to focus on that, particularly in my state, particularly some of the MILCON projects that are coming on board that I think are going to be positive. But can you comment on 11th Airborne, how you think they're doing? I know that you had mentioned in a hearing a couple months ago it's the #1 requested place. They did a big jump on the anniversary of the patching. So I'd love to hear your views on that. And again, a commitment on continuing that focus on the challenges of suicide in Alaska.
First of all, absolutely, Chairman, you have my commitment. You know, building cohesive teams and taking care of soldiers and families is of our top priority. We're actually proud of what 11th Airborne is doing up there, and yes, we are. It is an enlistment incentive to do assignment of choice. A lot of people like to go up there to the North Country and serve in that, and we have seen that up there. People are proud to be part of that airborne unit. We're proud of what they're doing.
Good to have the 82nd having a little competition, right?
I'm sure there is a little bit of competition, that you know how things work.
Yeah, I do know how. And I'm glad they have a little competition. I think the chairman was part of the 82nd at one point, but, all right.
But yes, we're proud of what they're doing. I actually, and I think what they're doing up with Mission 100, I think you might be familiar with that. I always give Alaska as the example of, to tackle any problem, you have to, let a commander make them responsible, hold them responsible and accountable, but give them the resources and do things different. Alaska's different than Fort Liberty or anywhere else, and so they've done some very innovative things up there. I think changing to 11th Airborne was is a big plus. They're doing hard training up there, and their ethos, which I think helps with a lot of things as well. So we're really proud of what 11th Airborne.
I would agree with that, General, and seeing the morale that seems to be better because of their mission-oriented focus. They know what they're all about. They have a warfighting headquarters, I think, which makes a difference as well. Let me ask one final question, Mr. Chairman, if it's okay. I know that you're looking at additional multi-domain task force locations, and I want to get your assessment on how you think that's going, but also your commitment. I know you can't say yes or no right now, but to work with me and this committee on the possibility of a multi-domain task force in Alaska. We have the best training in the world. Our strategic location is unrivaled. The father of the Air Force, Billy Mitchell, called Alaska the most strategic place on the planet. A number of services are recognizing that, you're 6 hours from Korea, Japan, the Taiwan Strait. A lot of flag officers actually don't recognize that even though we're not west of the international date line, we're closer to the fight in the Pacific and even in Europe, given our strategic location. So can you just give me an assessment on how you guys are looking at the next location for a multi-domain task force, and commit to me to working with this committee on the possibility of having one in Alaska?
We have not made any final decisions. We're still working through that, and absolutely committed to working with the committee.
And is the goal 1 or 2 more multi-domain task forces?
The plan is for 2 additional multi-domain task force.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Sullivan. I want to make an announcement and a few follow-up questions. In the discussion today, there